We're coming to you live from our Auckland Park studios. This is Prime News on SABC 3. Here are the top stories making headlines. President Cyril Ramaphosa has officially sworn in Buti Manamela as the Minister of Higher Education and Training.
I believe that we did not unreasonably delay. There are grounds and valid reasons why we only brought the request now.
The NPA says it will take its quest to appeal the acquittal of televangelist Timothy Omotoso and his co-accused to the Supreme Court of Appeal. It has just gone 8 o'clock. A very good evening to you. I am Paulette Nell. A warm welcome to Prime News on 3. Let's kick it off with this. Buti Manamela has been sworn in as a Minister of Higher Education and Training. President Cyril Ramaphosa saw Manamela in today and welcomed him to his cabinet. Manamela replaces Nobuhle Nkabane, who was removed from the position by Ramaphosa last night. The presidency did not give any reason for Nkabane's removal, but calls for her head had been growing louder over the past few weeks following her handling of the SETA board chairperson saga.
In terms of the powers vested in me by Section 91(2) of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa of 1996, I have decided to appoint the following person as the Minister of the portfolios indicated in the signed President's Act: Mr. Buti Kwaridi Manamela, Minister of Higher Education.
Has been part of the executive for over a decade, but this is the first time he is appointed as a minister.
Manamela is now the man at the helm of the Department of Higher Education and Training. His political journey dates back to when he was a student and youth leader in 1993. In 2001, he worked for SACAU, the South African Catering Commercial and Allied Workers Union. Amongst his responsibilities were recruitments, negotiations, the representation of workers and political induction of shop stewards. In 2003, he became the National Secretary of the YCL, the Young Communist League of South Africa, a position he held for a decade. Manamela joined the National Assembly in 2009 and also served as the ANC's whip in the Portfolio Committee of Labour from 2011. He has occupied a position as a Deputy Minister in various departments from 2014. In the Ministry of Higher Education in 2017 during the tenure of former President Jacob Zuma. He went on to serve as deputy to Dr. Blade Nzimande and Nkabane in President Cyril Ramaphosa's national executive before being appointed to the top position this week. He holds a master's degree in public policy and development management from Wits University. Nhlanhla Khatlhane, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Meanwhile, former Higher Education and Training Minister Dr. Nobuhle Nkabane is not out of the woods yet in Parliament, despite being fired last night by President Cyril Ramaphosa.
Last week, 2 members of the so-called independent panel denied ever being part of it. On Tuesday, another 3 members also denied formally participating on it.
I was not involved in the approval process of the 21 nominees.
I did not participate in the selection and recommendation of SETA Accounting Authority chairpersons.
If the secretariat of the panel did not convene the meeting, therefore there was no meeting of the panel.
And you also would know this because you've never sat in one.
Yes, sir.
The committee has concluded that Nkabane lied.
We have concluded that there was no panel. The minister could have just been honest with us from the beginning, could be fine.
The legal question is whether to call Nkabane as a former minister or ordinary MP.
I'm struggling to get a legal reason on why we will bring on a process, a subpoena on a process that she was supposed to respond to as a minister.
She came to the portfolio committee and lied and owned something that she didn't even own, a panel that never existed.
People were appointed. The son of Gwede Mandasha was appointed. The former premier of the ANC in KZN was appointed, who is now being brought in as a deputy minister, was still coming for her. And many other ANC comrades were appointed to the SITA board chairs. Now, what is the conclusion? The real panel was Luthuli House.
We must be able to give Nombuhle Nkabane the right of reply that he wishes to give to her.
Ulelani Philip, SABC News, Parliament.
Onto this now, the Joint Portfolio Committees on Police and Justice and Constitutional Development will present their report on how the institution must look into the issues of national security tomorrow in line with their deadline. This after the Speaker of the National Assembly, Thoko Didiza, instructed these two portfolio committees as well as the Joint Standing Committee on Intelligence to consider on an urgent basis revelations by the KwaZulu-Natal Police Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Ntantam Konazi, of political interference in police at the highest level.
Parliament is also seized with the alarming revelations that national security is under threat. Recommendations from the Joint Committee is to establish an ad hoc committee to get to the bottom of this. The committee will be established by a motion of Parliament.
The ad hoc committee itself will determine its exact terms of reference, as I said earlier, and as confirmed now in terms of legal services. We have given certain guidelines through this report, but the ad hoc committee itself will detail the exact terms of reference.
My understanding was that, firstly, an ad hoc committee is there because the general understanding is that the committees are busy with their work, they're general, but you want a specialization of sorts. Now, if you're going to have a specialization of sorts, that's the very first day at work, this specialization of sorts is now going on leave. I mean, what kind of sense of urgency is this?
The number of MPs to serve on the ad hoc committee, its duration and scope are all matters that will be determined by the committee upon its establishment. Zaleen Merrington, SABC News, Parliament.
Thank you for staying with us. Let's look into this now. The NPA says it will take its quest to appeal the acquittal of televangelist Timothy Omotoso and his co-accused Lusanda Sulani and Zugiswa Sito to the Supreme Court of Appeal. But before doing that, it will send questions of law to Judge Irma Skuman for reservations. The state was dealt another blow today when its application for clarification of the facts on the Omotoso judgment was dismissed by the Gqeberha High Court in the Eastern Cape.
Delivering the judgment, Judge Nyameko Qamana said the state is not entitled to clarification on judgment by Judge Irma Skuman, therefore dismissing the application. Last week, the state sought clarification of the factual findings that led to the acquittal of the trio earlier this year. In April, Judge Irma Skuman ruled that the state had failed to prove its case beyond reasonable doubt, pointing to poor cross-examination, a lack of corroborating evidence, and incompetence of prosecutors. The National Prosecuting Authority says it will file its application with the Supreme Court of Appeal within 21 days.
Draft those questions of law before the end of the week, hopefully, and if necessary, prepare a condonation application because we believe that we did not unreasonably delay. There are grounds and valid reasons why we only brought the request now. So we'll do that before the end of the week, after which, if she dismisses those as well, we'll proceed to petition the Supreme Court of Appeal because we believe that with the respect she had.
The National Prosecuting Authority says they will draft the letter of the law by the end of this week. Lerato Fekisi, SABC News, Gqeberha.
The case against 4 men arrested for the murder of DJ Sumbody has been postponed to next week Tuesday. The musician and businessman was killed in a hail of bullets in Woodmead in November 2022. The 4 stand accused of murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and possession of unlicensed firearms.
There was high police visibility at the Alexandra Magistrates Court. This is where businessman Gatiso Molefe and his 3 co-accused appeared briefly in connection with the murder of Opa Sifoka, popularly known as DJ Sumbody. Molefe's 3 co-accused abandoned bail.
That matter has been postponed to Tuesday the 29th as one of the accused indicated that they wish to bring a formal bail application before court. So as the state, we were not yet ready to proceed. We are finalizing the investigation in terms of the bail application that must be heard by the court.
Meanwhile, police say the same firearm used in the murder of DJ Sumbody have been linked to other high-profile cases. They say ballistic tests linked the 4 firearms to the murder of engineer and Transnet corruption whistleblower Armand Swart. Swart was assassinated in April last year. Investigations into his murder led police to the unlicensed firearms.
At this stage, all those 4 firearms, including the 1 AK-47, is linked to at least 10 high-profile cases that include murder as well as attempted murder. Our team has been working tirelessly on this case. The Political Killings Task Team has been working closely with the Gauteng Organized Crime Investigations Unit. We now know that the same firearm that killed Armand Swart is the same firearm that killed DJ Sumbody and his 2 bodyguards.
Molefe will remain behind bars with his co-accused until next week Tuesday, when he is expected to lodge a formal bail application. Mbalentle Mthethwa, SABC News, Johannesburg.
All right, on to this now. The Umkhonto weSizwe party has written to National Assembly Speaker Tokoti Diza calling for her to schedule a date for the party's motion of no confidence in President Cyril Ramaphosa. During a media briefing in Parliament, MKP Chief Whip Colleen Makubele and party colleagues outlined their reasons for going this route.
Given the issues that the President, from the beginning of the 6th term right through to the 7th term, has been facing allegations of interference, failure of accountability, including his own Palapala. Now we've got allegations of corruptions that are linked to him, and we've got failures in his administration to provide even the basic services to our people. The citizens have lost confidence in the President.
The second day of interviews for 3 vacant positions for IEC commissioners saw deliberations on subjects as diverse as political education, the electoral code of conduct, and boosting the role of independent candidates. The panel, chaired by Chief Justice Mandisa Maya, has held public interviews with 10 candidates, which have been watched closely in the context of next year's looming local government elections.
We have tended to emphasize the mandate component of democracy, where we say we must vote, we must go and vote and send people to parliament, but less in terms of accountability.
Voter education, I think, is one of the important ones. Media, reaching out through the media, transparency, dealing with any conflicts or any doubts from the people, if like some people are doubting the outcome of the election, dealing with it quickly, but also transparency, making sure that people understand the system.
However, the 2 days were not without controversy, with the first day of the interviews seeing a dramatic admission by a candidate and IEC chairperson that claimed the voter management devices had failed during the 2024 general elections.
We would have an electronic copy that matches the hard copy. That electronic copy is what became slow on voting day last year. And later that afternoon, we took a decision to say, we don't have to slow queues because of it, let's remove it.
Zara Groenewald, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Let's now switch over to the weather desk to see what the weather has in store for us. Stay tuned.
A very good evening to you. Let's take a look at all your weather details for the next few days. Clear conditions overnight in Cape Town. However, partly cloudy skies dominate the rest of the country with some scattered showers behind a cold front for the east coast, becoming a chance of snowfall as you head towards the peaks of the Drakensberg and Lesotho. Johannesburg, partly cloudy this evening in towards the northern parts of the country as well, and ahead towards tomorrow. The cloudy trend continues with just some isolated showers expected through the Free State and central parts of the Eastern Cape. Scattered rainfall through the northern parts of KwaZulu-Natal, whilst it'll be a sunny day in Cape Town with wind speeds up to 30 kilometers an hour from a southeasterly direction. Onto some alerts for this evening. Please be on the lookout for the potential of disruptive rainfall along the KwaZulu-Natal coastline and head towards tomorrow. The same conditions but stretching northwards through the northern parts of KwaZulu-Natal's coastline. Durban dropping to 15 overnight, Gqeberha down to 9, Cape Town 8, whilst Beaufort West drops to 6 this evening. Bloemfontein the same, and Johannesburg down to 6 degrees overnight. Warming up on Wednesday to a maximum of 18 expected as well in Pretoria, whilst Durban warms up to about 20 degrees tomorrow. 21 for Gqeberha, whilst Cape Town's up to 20 degrees. Mid-teens through the central parts of the country, becoming high teens in Bloemfontein, and then 20 degrees expected in Kimberley on Wednesday. Ahead towards Thursday's forecast, and another cold front approaches. Ahead of it, we've got chillier temperatures expected in the Western Cape, isolated showers along the coastline, some rainfall activity expected through the central parts of the country, becoming cold as you head towards the eastern escarpment. Otherwise, it remains partly cloudy towards the weekend in Pretoria and Johannesburg. That's it from me. Enjoy your evening.
Time together this evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, Pula.